introduce yourself to my audience and tell them what you do.
Okay, my name is Kojo Aboah, and I'm a young entrepreneur. At least that's what I want to think I am.
Yes, yeah, you are.
And
You are.
Yeah, I think when I find it very difficult to describe myself because it's very difficult to, you know, meet new audiences and kind of condense the entirety of your life, which is basically who you are, right? So it's a very difficult thing to do, but I would like to think that I'm somebody who is a thinking individual and I'm committed to solving problems. That's how I like to, in the framework of the conversation we have.
Yes.
Obviously, that doesn't do the good job of summarizing the entirety of my being.
Don't worry. Throughout this conversation, you need to describe yourself more as we talk about different things. See, I when I looked at your profile on LinkedIn, I saw that when you were in university, you started, you founded a startup. What was it about?
Actually, when I was in university, my LinkedIn profile has been unupdated for some time, so I have to work on that. But I started 3 companies in the university. Wow. That is very unlikely. Yeah, that's very unlikely for somebody from my background because when you hear me speak, when you hear me dare to do some of the things you do, you think, oh, this guy, he comes from a certain kind of family that allows you to do that. I don't. In fact, I come from the very opposite direction. But it just takes audacity, right? And a certain stubbornness to do some of the things that I think I dare to do. But yes, I did. I started 3 startups, companies, small companies on university. So I went for this program after the first year of my education in the university. And I was the youngest. I went for a lot of programs where I was the youngest. And in this program, we were basically helping other companies, right? So we were kind of business associates, business consultants for other companies. And it was a program funded by TBfAP. And it was started by Challenges Worldwide. So people from the UK came to Ghana and they partnered with us. They were usually students who were in their final years or master students. And I was a first year student at the time. And I was the only person involved. The other Ghanaians were all final year students, stuff like that. And I got to help a small business from the training I got. And I liked the experience. And I liked that I was thinking, I was being engaged. So I came up from that experience thinking, I'm going to start a business myself. So even though I had nothing, to be honest with you, I think that I wagered some of my my second year school fees, which was basically nothing because for me, again, from the place I come from, getting the school fees usually even is a hassle. So it's a difficulty to do that. But I wagered part of it with my friend to start a smoothie business. And we sold smoothies and juices and popcorn at campus events. And I had never made a smoothie before. I didn't even know that. I didn't know what, I never knew how to make a smoothie. I never knew how to make a popcorn. I always tell people that I watch a 2-minute YouTube video and I started making the best popcorns on campus. That was it. And so it just drew me. And then I started a marketing communication company. And then my final year, we went into greenhouse farming and all of that. So yes, that's a little about
me. See, on that. That's fantastic. But I would like to correct something you say. You say from your background, entrepreneurs come from different background. In fact, the people who are comfortable in life, who has almost everything they want, don't start businesses, right? Most of the entrepreneurs are people from, let me use the word in quotes, somehow difficult backgrounds, where, because as an entrepreneur, you are solving a problem that people have. Okay, if you come from a privileged background, you don't see the problems that people have. Okay, so you most entrepreneurs solve problems that they have, that people they know have, that the community has. And then they say, okay, let me fix this. Let me look at it and fix it. And that's how they start. Okay, so most see, in the West, for example, if you look at the amount of entrepreneurs that people know, check them out. Okay, a lot of them are immigrants. Okay, including Mr. Mox. Okay, he's an immigrant.
Yeah.
Okay,
but I mean, yeah, Elon Musk comes from. Yeah, so you see, I think that I agree with you to some part, but the truth is that even the most popularized of entrepreneurs that we see them, right, and we like to ascribe a certain kind of hardship to their backgrounds, but when you look into the lines, it's not always the same. It's not always the case.
No,
it's much more difficult. It's much more difficult doing, like, for example, while Elon Musk, and Elon Musk is one of my favorite entrepreneurs, while Elon Musk has struggled to build his business, because the truth is that just for the fact of going against the tide to build an electric car in the time that he did, right,
every entrepreneur struggle to build something. Even Mr. What's his name, Bezos, okay, to build what he has been a struggle. Okay. Yes. Now, maybe most of us who are outsiders, who have not been entrepreneurs, think, wow, he's so fabulous, because we only started hearing about him when he has made it. Okay. We never knew him when he was struggling. Okay. Even, what's his name? Mr. Microsoft. Yes. Yeah. His parent was, one of his parents was a university professor, I think. But yes, he wasn't struggling, but he solved a problem that people in his community had.
Yeah.
Okay.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree. Where I'm coming from is that the process of building a company, any company, and I think it's the reason why I kind of might be one of the most difficult things you can ever do in the world.
Yeah,
because there's a certain kind of uncertainty around it. Usually when there's an amount of uncertainty in something, there is difficulty in predicting the rate of success. So, for example, there is not even replicability in entrepreneurship. For example, somebody can start a business today, succeed, and start a business tomorrow and fail, because in the dynamics of the two businesses, the formulas are not all the same. So it's a very difficult, and that I want to admit. But I'm just saying that the people that we put, right, it's beyond, for example, it's beyond just money, right? It's relationships, etc. Like, I'll come back to this maybe, but if we explore that, I came to London for the first time in 2019. I came for a global business competition. Before that, we had won a regional competition in Malaysia, all of that. We came, we competed against students from Oxford and Harvard and all the best universities, and we were at the top. We were really among the best of them, right? And I came, and it changed my perspective. I was like, I want to move, and I want to do more, and I want to start a technology business. And I did start a technology business, even though I had nothing. But when it got to the time of fundraising for it, I didn't anticipate how difficult it's going to be. And the reason is, everybody finds it difficult to raise funds, but it's exceptionally difficult, right? If it's more difficult, and that's, I think, the fact, if you have nobody who has done it before that you ever know, you are not from a community of people who have done it before, or you don't know anybody that can recommend you. So you have to build it. Like, people for a very long time. And that's a good thing. That's something that's a burden I'm willing to take. I always tell people around me that I want to take the burden of working so hard so that I can build the reputational value that others can use, because I don't have that, right? I don't have the reputational value of, say, a work that a relative did. And then they can say, wow, your relative did this, and based on that. And that is very important. It's not even about just money or finances, right? So that makes it very difficult for someone who has none of these leverages. And leverage comes in different forms. From someone who has none of these leverages, because I have studied a pattern to validate what I'm trying to say. Most people don't become billionaires from poor backgrounds, for example. It's a very difficult thing to do. Very, 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 very few people that I know in the top 100 of billionaires have done that. For most people, wealth building is a multi-generational process. So it is more easier for the first generation to move from, say, first generation that didn't have college education, to move from that stage into a few hundreds of thousands worth.
Okay, let me ask you if
wipes now.
Okay, let me ask something.
Mm-hmm.
Marx, was his parents millionaires?
Yes. So Elon Musk's parents.
Hold on. They were millionaires? Just yes or no?
What?
Were they millionaires?
I can't say for a fact, but his parents owned emerald mines in South Africa. Those are that. Yeah. Owning a mining company.
Hold on. Yeah. So they're rich. Okay. His father was rich. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Bezos, was it from a millionaire family?
I can't say for a certain, but I know that his parents give him $100,000.
Mr. Microsoft, was it from a wealthy family? I don't think you are
getting my point. See, if your parents are college professors and the other is in the medical profession, in the United States, even you are in the top 15%, or you are probably in the top 20% of people who are doing well. If my point is that it's difficult, for example, if you are among the bottom 5%, it's just a thing. It's difficult for somebody who grew up in a rural place in Rwanda to be able to succeed. It's just the fact of life. That's what I think, though.
Well, see, I agree that success in entrepreneurship is difficult, and it should be, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because you are trying to solve a problem that has been there that nobody else has solved, okay? So the solution cannot be so easy. Otherwise, the rest of the people must have been so dumb that they couldn't solve it. Okay? Isaac, that's it. See? And that's why people who can solve problems, we applaud them. Okay? Now, for me and for you, we want young Africans to start looking to solve our problems, no matter how hard it is. We need to do it. All right? It doesn't matter how hard it is. We need to do it. Doesn't matter if you live in a village, okay? In your community, in your village, there are problems that only you who knows the problems can attempt to solve it. Now, yes, it's good if you know how to collaborate, all right? Maybe you are in a village, you want to solve a problem that affects the village and 2 or 3 other villages around you. You provide a solution and you need help, and you talk to your cousin in the city who know one or two people, see, it's all about collaboration. Okay. So I want to encourage young people who are problem solvers. That's why I'm so happy that you are. Okay. Well, I want you to take it as a challenge, right? No matter how difficult it is. See, it's the difficulty that when you finally succeed will carry you above the shoulder that, hey, Isaac did it. So that's it, you know?
So I agree with your perspective around that. And I think,